My name is Charles Parker. I was born at home late Saturday night in 1941 in Fresno, California, in a house on Blackstone Avenue. My father was from Arkansas and came to California for work. My mother was born in Georgia and her father moved here to California. My father bought 20 acres in Crothers, and from there we moved to Easton and lived on an acre land in the county. We didn't have electricity and we had to go to the neighbors for water. Everyone was poor, but no one knew it. We were all healthy and happy. We all wore hand-me-down clothes, and in the summer, to save our shoes, we took them off and walked barefooted. My parents instilled a strong work ethic in us. In fact, we had to earn our own way. We would search for soda pop bottles and exchange them for pennies and nickels, and use them to go to the fair or buy bubble gum. We would pick cotton and grapes. I broke the decathlon champion Rayford Johnson's record. I jumped 22 feet, 5.5 inches. After high school, I served a 2-year mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, commonly known as the Mormon Church. And when I got back, Uncle Sam wanted 2 years of my hide and sent me a letter requesting a physical exam. And the sergeant said at the end, "I'll see you in 2 weeks." I walked down the street and joined the Navy Reserves with my brother. We went to boot camp together and was stationed at Treasure Island near San Francisco before receiving our orders to go to Hawaii and join the USS Bahama Richards. When leaving for Hawaii, it was cool in San Francisco, so I wore my navy blues, which was made from wool. But when I stepped off the plane, it was like an oven, and I couldn't wait to get into my cooler navy whites. It was a shock to experience such a different climate. When we left Hawaii, headed for the Philippines and Vietnam, it kept getting hotter and hotter. My brother was stationed in the boiler room, and I was in the engine room. The heat was unbearable. No air conditioning down there. There was small amounts of fresh air pumped in, but it was hot and humid. Our bodies sweat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We developed red rash on our skins that lasted the whole time we were at sea. The noise in the engine room was extremely loud, and you had to stand next to the person and scream for him to hear you or to understand them. The loud noise decreased my hearing. Our mission in Vietnam was to fly planes off the flight deck and drop bombs over the jungle. Some of the planes that returned had leaves and branches hanging from the wings and large holes in the wings and tail. Planes flew around the clock. Working the coastal waters of Vietnam was a constant reminder of the dangers we were in. There was between 3,500 to 5,000 people on the ship. It was like a small city. Overall life aboard the ship was inhumane. The temperatures in the engine room stayed about 118 degrees. It was impossible to sleep, soaking from the heat with no relief, and the constant noise of the jets flying, their afterburners on their takeoff, or the screeching metal on metal noise of hitting the wires while landing was deafening. Down in the belly of the ship, we had to sweep the decks daily. You would think on the water things would stay clean, but that's not the case. Dirt flew in the air vents and planes would wash down daily, and the waste water was on the flight decks and hangar bay. We were exposed to everything that the men on the land were exposed to, including Agent Orange. The ship was full of asbestos and was painted with lead-based paint. We used water from the ocean that was loaded with Agent Orange. They distilled the water but could not take out the toxins. We bathed in it, cooked in it, drank it, and washed our clothes in it. Because of my exposure to Agent Orange, it led to my disabilities. I've lost my entire right kidney. I have 20% of my left kidney. I have type 2 diabetes and colon cancer. I served my country when called upon to do so, but my fellow sailors and I have paid dearly with our health. I would be lying if I said I didn't often find myself angry and frustrated. After 2 years at sea, I was discharged in San Diego in 1967. I got off that ship and never looked back. I met my wife back in 1966 and we were married in 67. I went to Fresno City College and studied business and worked for Valley Medical Center and Valley Children's Hospital. We have 3 children, 6 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. Looking back on my time in the service and the exposure to the toxic chemicals Agent Orange, I find myself and fellow sailors suffering many physical ailments. Unfortunately, the United States government has turned a blind eye on the plight of us blue water sailors, denying our right to receive disabilities and eligibility for veterans and services because we didn't have boots on the ground. It's ridiculous to think the airborne chemicals like Agent Orange stopped at the shoreline. I would like to let my fellow blue water sailors know that there is currently a bill in the United States Congress, H.R. 2254, sponsored by Senator Bob Filner of California, to give us the recognition for our suffering and the rights to claim our disabilities and receive the care we need. I urge you to call your local rep and support the bill. You would be helping a lot of sailors that have been denied their benefits.